Liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? It's Space Chief. It's Friday, August 12th, 2011. It's pretty late. And I'm here once again with Ender. Everybody else is pretty busy, so it's just me and Ender today. Gonna do episode number 3. Well, it's been a pretty slow week, honestly. A lot of us expected D3 beta to start. It didn't. Someone started trolling by posting screenshots of being logged in from their house. I saw them on a couple different websites, and I'm thinking a Blizzard developer in Anaheim, probably, or Irvine rather, probably took work home and decided to troll everybody by posting pictures. Because from what I hear, Friends and Family has not started yet. Either way, we're all excited about it. Ender's here. We've got a couple subjects to touch up on in this episode. I don't care if you're getting sick of hearing it. We're going to keep talking about it because it's huge. We're going to talk a little bit about Diablo 3 to start off. We're not going into we're not going into controversy this time, rather. We're just going to go with expectations, things we hope to see and things we would like to see in Diablo 3, if not in the beta alone. Ender, I know you said that you played plenty of D2 back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Oh yeah, love Diablo. I got started on the first one. Actually, funny story about Diablo. Did you ever try going from Diablo 2 back to the first Diablo?
Yeah.
I tried to. It was really hard. Not so much because of like graphics or gameplay. It was really slow. I didn't realize how slow you walked in the first Diablo. It was painstaking. I literally quit because I couldn't take it. It took me forever because you had to buy your spell books and all that other stuff from a witch who was out in the middle of nowhere, and that took literally a minute just to travel over there and then go all the way back to your dungeon. And I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. This has been bugging me for years, and I don't know if it changed when the quote-unquote expansion for Diablo 1 came out with Hellfire back in the day, that introduced the monk. But apparently when you killed Diablo, I always saw something drop, and I could never click on it and pick it up. It looked like a unique staff or a sword or something like that, and I could never grab it in time. It just cut straight to the cutscene, and then that was the end. I mean,
Huh.
knowing my luck and my stupidity, I probably just had to wait to the end of the cinematic instead of hitting escape, and it would probably just put me right back in the game and let me go back to town and pick the damn thing up. But whatever, I'm an idiot. That was like, oh jeez, I feel old.
I don't know, man. That
It's a
was way
long
too
time
long.
ago.
And then
But
again, I never played Diablo online at all. I always played it offline.
no, I'm talking about offline. Diablo 1 online was cool, but there was just too much with the duping and all that. What was the item, the character editor, the item editor? Boba Fett's Diablo
Boba
1
Fett's, that's what they called it, really?
Yeah, it was a D1 hack editor. That was pretty fun. I miss it. I miss the old battle. I don't miss the old BattleNet. Um, Diablo 2 took up way too much of my life. This was, before I could reasonably get into World of Warcraft or afford it or have a good enough computer for it. But
Implying there's a reasonable way to get into Warcraft.
psh, either
I mean,
way,
how many times have you tried to quit now?
oh,
Man,
I've
gonna have to start coming up with like WoW cough.
well, I mean, I've retired twice now from hardcore raiding. I really do miss it a lot. But at the same time, I'm glad I kind of got my 5 night a week back. and now I've got a couple other things on my plate that uh, I'm not gonna ever really be able to come back to rating it
To the normal
nice.
life, you'll never
No,
be a normal person
yeah,
again.
I'm never. Why be normal? What, like nothing good could ever come from staying with normal people.
Hating on the normies.
Oh man, you didn't get that reference. Holy crap. It's one of
Nope.
those Toonami music videos.
Man, I can't even remember Toonami anymore.
You need to spend like 30 minutes on YouTube just looking up the old Toonami promos for like all the best shows that they ever put on, and like you'll get goosebumps. Like it's the biggest nostalgia bomb ever. Anyway, let's get off of that crap. We can go do that later. Let's talk about D3. Let's talk about what we hope to find in D3. Now, we've had gameplay videos, we've had ability videos and crap like that on their website for quite a while now. So really, we're just running out of stuff to speculate about. They've been fairly, I'm not even going to say reasonably, but they have been fairly adamant in giving us something to go off of, something to shut us up for a little while and keep us really excited. They've shown us all the classes. They've shown us, I think, male and female for everything. I don't think I've seen male demon hunter yet. I think that's the only character model I haven't seen. Regardless, um, let's talk about what we hope to find in D3. Let's beta, and then once retail release comes out, let's see let's talk about what we both hope to find and hope that we don't find. Um, for one, I really hope that the rune word system, I should say, does not make a comeback, because honestly, when it came down to everything on BattleNet revolving around the trading of runes as a unit of currency, and then rune word items being the strongest thing out there, it kind of took a lot of the fun out of the game. Um, like unique items, the unique items were supposed to be the thing that everybody freaked out about. That was the super rare stuff, and for a while, for specific classes, those were still the best things. I mean, there weren't rune words for every character, for every slot on your character, but the vast majority of the stuff was rune word, and felt kind of broken. Felt like the only way to do anything worthwhile with your character is if you were rich and managed to trade your way to the items that you wanted, or bought them from one of those black market gold seller websites. Uh, I'm hoping that doesn't make a comeback. Not. Uh,
Nah, I don't know. I kind of thought the whole rune word system. I thought it was pretty cool. It's pretty unique. I mean, the only thing they have to do to really kind of balance that out is just make the unique and set items better.
yeah, well, that's true. And with the rarity of runes that dropped back then, it kind of did balance things out. But then you had the rune words that were stupid powerful, like Breath of the Dying and stuff like that, that had a very large amount of rare runes to begin with. And that balance turned into we're spending a lot more we're putting a lot more stats and high end stuff into these very expensive rune words, and then the rune words get to beat out the unique stuff. Then it came pointless to go magic find stuff anymore. But
Well, I think their original logic was that rune words you don't really there was nothing really dictating. Okay, here these are the combination for rune words. I mean, they were just eventually over time stumbled upon.
yeah, but that was kind of cool. The whole discovery thing. There was a lot of trial and error. Um, I don't know. I personally hope that stuff doesn't make a comeback, but I could be wrong. I hear that set items are going to be like item sets are going to be a fairly important role again in uh, developing your character late game. Um, I hope that it doesn't turn into, for one thing, the repetitive magic find grinding and the botting and all that crap. Because I don't mind running the same bosses over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because they drop the best stuff or they're the easiest to kill for my character. But when it turns into a bot thing and when people are power leveling, like bail runs, kind of gets stupid. I mean, it kind of takes the fun away of the game. Then it just turns into who can magic find the most and level up their new character fast enough and build it the right way, just so they can find more items.
Eh,
It's kind
I
of
guess
like
that's true, but I mean,
it turned
let's
into
be
a
honest.
it turned into a repetition and fake currency simulator instead of an actual video game.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Come on, what game isn't all about? Hey, let's go run this guy as many times as we can until we get that 1% drop that everyone's been looking for. I mean, come on, people have done it for the stupidest things like mounts in WoW.
Yeah, but well, there's a difference between WoW and Diablo 2 because the loot table for D2 is not set. You can have anything drop from anywhere, depending on the number of your magic find and like what type of character what type of monster you're going up against. If it's a unique monster like an end of act boss, like Andariel, Vale, Mephisto, Diablo, who the hell am I missing? Who am I missing?
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, Andariel, Duriel. That's who I'm missing out of the five. Um, but then you had like the smaller unique monsters that spawned at random with groups of minions, and some of those drop some really good stuff occasionally.
Yeah,
Uh,
but the point is that regardless, like whether you're looking at a boss who has, okay, I drop this item, as opposed to Diablo where anybody can drop anything, you're still
yeah,
grinding
no,
to
you
find
are.
something,
Yeah, you are, but you're not limited to specific bosses just because that boss is the only one that drops these things.
which I think is actually a little bit of a step up.
Yeah, no, I know. I like it where it's a random drop. You know, I like for WoW. WoW's loot table works for WoW because it's a lot more structured and it's not a hack and slash. Late game WoW is built around finding groups of consistent players, unless you want to just do randoms or
Yeah,
just
but the point is that you're sitting here saying that going off doing these bail runs is somehow more tedious than running. I don't know what's a popular in-game dungeon that a lot of people would associate with.
I don't know. Firelands right now is the big one that everybody's running. So
Well, there you go. It's the same thing. Like, hey, you want to run Firelands? I'm looking for this weapon, as opposed to hey, let's go run bail. I'm hoping I can find
something,
this finally.
yeah, something drops,
Yeah, I mean it's the same
and then
thing.
yeah,
It's just you're dealing with a broader category than what you would in probably some other games.
yeah. But
You know,
well, okay. So we've got Diablo 3 loot down. So let's what else do we I hope
I
I'm
want to
really
see.
excited about this new the artisan system where the artisans that you rescue in quests that follow you around and can create items for you. I'm really hoping that they play a significant role in the gear choices for your character all the way through the game, not just early on when you can't find the best stuff.
Maybe I don't know. The gambling system might come to play a larger role as you get further down. I mean, that's really where it was all at. You always found the best stuff on gambling. But really, what I kind of want to see, I want to see the spell books come back into play, where any class you played could learn all sorts of different spells and stuff like that just by picking up a book.
Yeah, well, we
I
already
got
know.
really tired of going through Diablo 2, seeing a bookshelf and wondering, ooh, gee, I wonder what's going to come out of there. It was either a scroll of identify or a
Town
teleport. It's
portal.
like, gee, awesome.
Yeah, well, I could see where you'd not like that. The only problem is we already know that it's not going back that way. Everybody, it's kind of the skill system's kind of going the way of World of Warcraft, which isn't really bad. Everybody gets, every class gets specific skills set to specific levels, and the higher level you get, the baseline ability of those skills adjusts, and then you can modify what those abilities do with I still haven't taken the time to figure out if it's runes that modify skills to turn like a single target into an AoE or a like I don't even know what one of them was, like poisonous frogs is something somebody told me. They're like poisonous exploding frogs or something like that. That
Hmm.
are, yeah, like that sounds pretty cool. And I know one ability I saw that's on the Diablo 3 website, um, is you can put these, if you're a witch doctor, you can stack these zombies up, and they'll like jump on each other's shoulders, and they'll stack up against a large enemy, and they'll be all poisonous, and then they'll just fall over on top of the enemy. It's the
Nice.
dumbest, it's the stupidest thing ever, but it looks like, uh, I'm gonna be like using the hell out of that ability until it drives my roommates insane, and they have to come up here and like duct tape my mouth shut because I'm laughing so much. But
I don't know.
skills.
It's more like I can't wait for the conventions. Start seeing everybody start jumping on their shoulders and then falling on each other.
Oh my god. Why do I
You,
get the feeling
you
that
laugh
MetroCon?
now,
No,
but it's
I
gonna
know. I
happen.
laugh now. Oh, are you kidding me? BlizzCon this year is probably going to be ridiculous. It always is, but it's a guy last year broke his leg at the dance competition and then kept going
Uh,
like a boss. Um, what else? Uh, I'm now you got me on the convention stuff. Now I'm thinking about what's going to happen at fucking MetroCon this year.
I don't know. Anything could. I.
That's the one convention where the weirdest stuff happens. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be all about anime and comics, and then it turns out it's like video games and all this other stuff too. Somebody gets beat up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Somebody's
our
costume
world's
falls
kind of
apart.
blended simultaneously. You go to a comic book convention, you see anime. You go to an anime, you see comics, and video games are everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's just the nature of the nerd kingdom this time, now, which again is really not a bad thing. It made a hell of a living that way so
Yeah.
far. I mean, keep going. We talked about this in the second episode, I think, first or second episode, where like it's getting to the point now where nerds are growing up and having kids, and they're turning their kids into nerds, and they're teaching their kids about Star Wars, and their kids are obsessed with Star Wars and Transformers and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it sucks because the kids these days are never going to know the joy of the original Transformers, like how awesome it was back then, because we didn't have all this high def Michael Bay explosions everywhere.
I don't know. Actually, am I the only one who really didn't like the original Transformers? I only really got into
It's so
Transformers when
cheesy.
Beast Wars came out.
Yeah,
CGI all over the place.
but didn't reboot come out before Beast Wars?
Uh, I don't know. It came. It was on television around the same time though.
Yeah, but that was like that was that era of new CGI.
CG. Everything was CG. It
Yeah.
was. I don't know. I still enjoy watching. It's. I don't know. It's kind of strange. You go back, and in my honest opinion, it looked a lot better than some of the stuff that I end up seeing nowadays.
Yeah. And some of it does, I hate to say this, but like we were talking about the Toonami stuff a couple minutes ago, and I don't think it really only applies to us. When I say this, I think it applies to everybody, and a large percentage of people just don't know it because they, didn't grow up around then. But the golden age of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and Toonami is long gone, and I don't think it's ever coming back. And that honestly pisses me off to no end. You know,
Yeah.
Dexter's
Ev-
Lab, Powerpuff
Everything
Girls,
on
Ed,
a
Edd and
tangent
Eddy,
now.
Toonami. It's gone. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have Adult Swim now, and Adult Swim has, for the last how many years now, produced like some of the best late night content ever. I mean, look at Robot Chicken. How the hell are they still on the air?
I don't know. But all right. But we're getting on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, anything else about D3? Like any expectations, things you really want to see?
Things I really want to see coming from Diablo. I don't. I don't know. I mean, Blizzard always they never really fail me, especially when it's come with Diablo. I was impressed with the first one. I was even more impressed with the second one. I mean, I am in their hands. I trust them fully. I mean, there's
Yeah,
nothing that I could really say because I mean, regardless of what I cry for, I know what they're going to give me is probably going to be what I really want.
yeah, that's you know I've been saying it for years. I'll say it again now. I don't think I've said it on the show yet. There are two developers out there that can take as long as they freaking want to put something out because I know by the time it actually does come out, it's going to be amazing. And that's Valve and Blizzard. Now I don't. That doesn't. There's another story I could touch on regarding Valve this week. Uh, that doesn't mean that I want them to take forever to get stuff accomplished. Episode 3, please, can we finish Half-Life 2? But, even when they keep continuously pushing things back, when it finally does come out, I don't think I've ever had an incident with either one of those developers where I'm not satisfied with the product. Ever. I love
Yeah, I can
StarCraft
definitely
2.
agree.
Brood Wars was amazing. I was never good at it, and I didn't really play it on BattleNet that much. Um,
Use map settings.
yeah, turret defense. I was never really a big Warcraft fan. I played it. I was never really good at it, and that's why I was never a big fan.
See, there's your problem, man. Used map settings. That's where everything's at.
Oh, jeez.
Nobody, no,
Yeah,
nobody
but
buys
then it just
games
turns into
anymore to play
Dota.
the actual game.
Yeah. Everything is a Dota simulator now, period.
Actually, no. You got to reach further back than that. DOTA was not the original.
Oh, no, no. Everything is a turret defense simulator now.
What?
At least with StarCraft and Warcraft. Everything is turret defense.
Oh yeah, you go into StarCraft 2, everything's turret defense. I know there was one DOTA ripoff, but I couldn't stand it. Just everything looked weird and just clashed. It was not very intuitive in the way it was designed, just because of the StarCraft 2 engine, the way it works with upgrades.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, they tried. I'll applaud them for that, but
yeah, well, it's because Warcraft actually had an itemization system for heroes. It's kind of a make or break thing for something like Dota.
yeah.
Um. Anyway, I you
You know what?
know
Actually, that is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see modability in Diablo.
well they kind of shot that down already because
You know
they
what?
said no add-ons, no mods, and that's why they're doing that. That was the whole reasoning behind not having a
But
single
see,
player
this is
version.
again why I am so negative against that move. That's so horrible. I mean, think of all the great stuff that you could do with an engine in an environment such as Diablo 3, handing it to, you're just random people who like to make games and stuff like that, like the people who were all over StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3, give it to them, let them do something, and fun ensues. I mean, let's look actually as our future topic centerpiece, Counter-Strike. That originally came about as a mod and it took off.
Yep, greatest mod of all time. It still holds that title, and it's not just Valve saying that. I believe it still holds the Guinness Book of World Records for most purchased or most downloaded modified game modification ever. Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Like
I mean,
I know at one point it did hold, and if it still doesn't, hold a world record for a game mod.
I
And
do believe it still holds it. I mean, it's going to be really hard to top that.
yeah, I
I
mean
mean, people are still playing it.
there's still a professional bracket for 1.6. Nick Game's like what?
12 years old, something like that.
14 years old, I think. 1998, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's like almost 14 years old now. And there's still a professional bracket for money for 1.6. There's still a source bracket. There's still never mind, I'm not going to say that. I'm pretty sure that closed down a long time ago. I was going to say Team Fortress Classic Pro bracket, but I'm pretty sure that's long gone. It's kind of upsetting. Um all about those conch jumps. I hated those damn things. I hated conchs. Um But yeah, Ender transitioned to our next subject earlier today. I've heard whispers and rumors and people talking smack for the last couple weeks now, but finally it was confirmed, so I'm ready to talk about it. Counter Strike Global Offensive, the next Counter Strike has been announced. It is, and it was announced by Valve. It's not just some idiot talking out the rear end. Um, it's on the Steam store as a coming soon thing. There's no pre-orders up yet. There's nothing like that. It's expected Q1 of next year, which if they're having, they're already having current pro gamers for Counter Strike 1.6 and Source apparently, uh, come over to the Seattle office for Valve and test it. I think it's pretty much close to being done. It's Valve. You'll never know. They take forever to do anything worthwhile, but when they actually do put it out, it's gold. All the Meet the Team videos. Meet the Medic took what, 2 years, and it was pure hilarity in my opinion.
Were they really working on that the entire 2 years though?
No, they're
Well,
doing
all
other
right then.
crap. In fact, what I was talking about a couple minutes ago was there's a article that I caught wind of 2 3 days ago where there's a group of college students outside the Valve headquarters in Seattle right now protesting to get episode 3 finished. I kid you not.
Nice.
I kid you not. And they've been there for a couple days now, and apparently Gabe Newell's actually Jabba the Hutt his way outside to talk to them.
Wow.
And I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're pretty serious about this. It looked like a jerk. It looked like a joke at first, but uh, I think this is pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I'm actually really mad at Capcom right now. Did you ever play the Mega Man Legends series?
No, I never. I was never big on Mega Man. I was really bad at it, so
You're lucky you're not within arm's reach. I'd smack you. But
reach through this microphone and choke you.
great series. It was a really interesting twist in the Mega Man universe to okay, I'm not going to go too far into it, but basically, haven't heard anything of the Legends series after 2 for many years. Then finally, you catch whispers on the wind that Capcom is actually working really closely with its fan bases, asking, what would you like to see? Because we're planning on releasing Mega Man Legends 3 for the 3DS. And basically, Capcom let it die because they didn't sell enough demos of it for the 3DS. So it's looking like it's never gonna see the light of day.
Yeah. Oh, we want all of our fans' feedback, and we got tons of it, but we're just not going to follow half of it, and then we're not going to put the game out at all.
Yep.
uh, you know, uh, you know, kind of. I can kind of understand with the whole, a majorly established developer not wanting something that a lot of people are hoping for to flop, but I don't know. I on one hand, I kind of want him to just throw it out and throw everybody a bone. On the other hand, I don't, because I don't want to see it fail miserably and then have to go looking through thread after thread and story after story about how bad the sequel was. I mean, we just saw that crap with Duke Nukem Forever, and that was honestly heartbreaking. I was hoping it would be better. It still kept the the feel of Duke alive. Boobies everywhere,
Well,
crude
I think the
humor.
problem is that a lot of the people who are playing it. It's Duke. I mean, if you're not a big fan of the Duke playstyle, you're really not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. And that goes back into the generation thing, honestly. Like, I remember playing Duke Nukem 3D as a kid and going, oh my god, I hope my parents don't come in the room and see me playing this because they're going to kick my ass.
Exactly.
And now, you know, you can't exactly be a good parent if you're handing this to your 10-year-old kid and go, here, play this. You'll love it.
No, you'll be amazed. I have seen parents come in and buy the craziest things for their kids.
This
Like
guy works
this
for
kid must have
Disney.
been like 8 or 9, and his parents bought him Mortal Kombat.
Oh, awesome.
The new one, not even Marvel, not even
Oh,
versus DC. This
yeah.
was the straight up X-ray. I can see breaking your bones and everything.
Oh, jeez.
And
But
personally, I was okay with that. I mean, hell, I went to in my daycare. It was the only place I actually got to play Mortal Kombat, and I enjoyed it. Look at me, I'm not that messed
I
up.
was gonna say you might want to be careful with your next choice of words, son. um, no, I played my best friend. Uh, I guess I'll call him Wampa because that was the last name I knew him as. I've known him for 23 years now, and him and I grew up playing Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. And if you had the 6-button controller instead of the 3-button, you had a severe advantage
Oh
because
yeah,
you
with
could.
Turbo.
No, not
I
even
remember
turbo.
that.
It was just
That's what 6 buttons did.
no,
They
6-button had the top three, the regular three were regular attacks, and then the top three were the high attacks that were like aiming for the head, and
Oh
apparently they did more damage.
oh, are you talking about where it was more like one of the arcade game pads?
No, 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 no. It was the traditional like boomerang style Sega controller, the Genesis controller,
You
but
must
it
have had a
had
different one
six
than me,
buttons.
'cause mine was basically for turbo and stuff like
No, I had it was there were black buttons for the regular three, and then the ones above it were raised up instead of concave,
that. Uh huh.
and they were gray.
You know what? Maybe I just can't even remember that well because that's exactly what mine looked like. But then again, I played a different game. I played what was it? It was Primal Rage, I think it was called. Where you
Oh man, yeah. They tried. That was the game that tried to knock off Killer Instinct for the SNES.
yeah.
Yeah, which didn't ever happen. I kind of miss Killer Instinct, but I'm glad they laid it to rest. And Rare is just like, no, we're never digging this up again. It's gone. Leave it go. Anyway, yeah. Somehow we managed to get all the way onto Killer Instinct from Counter Strike, but
No,
Counter
I can
Strike
see
is
it.
getting a modern rebuild. And I personally really like the fact that they're going out of their way to grab pro gamers and get them to test it instead of having their own team of people, because if the pros are going, I don't like this, then they're probably gonna there's more of a reason for them to change it, because those are the people that log the most hours into the game. Those are the people that buy multiple copies of the game so that they can practice on one account and try things that are potentially not going to work out very well, and then have their pro account on another one and things like that, and run teams and have giveaways and just buy extra copies. So accommodating the pro bracket should be good. um and it's not going to hurt the casual bracket either. Counter Strike has always been, you can pick up and learn how to play. If you find a server that's full of new players, that's all right. But most of the time, you're gonna get schooled if you go on a Dust server. But whatever. I just hope that the hacks, as with every shooter, I hope that the hacks stop. It just ruins it, especially for PC, because for PC it's so much easier to develop an aimbot or whatever for a shooter. Everything else, it's really not. Um, but yeah, Counter Strike Global Offensive. There's going to be a link to the Steam page with the tiny little smidgen of information that they released on the game in the description section of this video. Uh, Now we're going to move on to something that has been a big touchy topic for a couple of years now. It's just the general movement of game developers in this modern era where consoles have become the things that, you know, bring gaming down to everybody, whereas it used to just be the nerds, the rich kids that were with their Sega Genesis and their Super Nintendo and Sega CD, or if you were lucky enough to have a good computer to play something like StarCraft, like my family.
I don't know. I don't know. Did you really need a good computer for that? I mean, I
No.
had a
Well,
horrible
hey,
computer.
you got to remember, back then a good computer was a 333 megahertz processor. That's 1/3 of a gigahertz. with like 256 megs of RAM, and if you were lucky and had a lot of money, you got a 1 gig hard drive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. All I got out of that was something about Giga Sheep.
Whatever. Dedicated video card? What's that? Shared
Yeah,
video memory. Oh my god. Anyway, Ender brought up something earlier today when I was hanging out with him that I think we should touch on because there's a lot of not, I wouldn't want to say mixed feelings about this. A lot of people are outraged about it, and the problem is that as consumers, we really don't have much of a choice if we want to keep supporting these products, and people are going to keep buying it anyways. So no matter how much noise we make, it doesn't seem like it ever matters. But we're going to talk about it anyways. DLC, downloadable content expansions, or whatever you want to call them, for games that are coming out now for everything from consoles to PCs to whatever. I mean, you've got map packs for Call of Duty. You've got story editions for Mass Effect and Dragon Age and things like that. And I'm going to start just by saying that I honestly think, and I'm probably going to steal some of Ender's thunder here, but I honestly think that it's a lot of greed, so to speak. It's like we know we could finish this game and put all of this stuff in one disc, but instead we're gonna charge 15 10 5 10 $15 for a couple hours worth of extra content that should have already been in the game anyways. That's how I feel about it. Ender's the one that brought this up. He's the one that's probably got the best opinion out of all of the people in our group here that about this issue, so I'm gonna let him go off. Get mad. Go for it, dude.
Rage, hardcore, man.
Rage. Get pumped.
DLC. I mean, at first it was a really cool concept. It was something where you could put a little extra money and basically almost add on a whole new, not a completely new game, but a smaller game onto the game that you already had, and it could give you lots more fun, really great into it. And now DLC's just turned into just a revenue getter. Here's one extra little side story, or here's two extra characters. And and first you're complacent about it, you're going with it until you start realizing it's, hey, pre-order this game and you'll be able to get this DLC when it comes out. And then this, it's like a switch, something goes off in your mind and you're like, wait a minute, the game hasn't even come out yet and you're already planning DLC, you're already planning for this. Why don't you just put it in now and just sell us the whole thing? You're basically selling us incomplete games and charging us later. And I've even seen this, slightly on topic, slightly off topic, where I almost feel sorry for like the first batch of players who will buy a game and they basically get used as an additional beta test where they'll release patches afterwards, like, oh, okay, we messed up on this, here you go, we'll patch that up for you. And you're seeing a lot of games on their first releases not being playable because there will be just horrible things going wrong with them. And I think the developers are taking the availability of being able to go online and download, and they're just abusing it. They're not finishing their games, and they're just milking us for as much money as they possibly can.
Yeah, and well, I'm the person who I'll wholeheartedly admit in the past I have said, look, these people are company. They're companies. They need to make revenue. They need to make money. Um, but I'm also going to be the person that says this. There is a there's a point where this has gone too far, and clearly we've passed it. And I honestly hope that whatever happened to the times where Brood War, perfect example, StarCraft Brood War, where an expansion was an actual expansion. It wasn't just something to add on to a game that should have been there to begin with. It was 2 to 3 years later, and it actually added a completely new side to the game.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I can kind of stretch it. I can see where some companies for certain types of games might want to plan out DLC, have it periodically released. Like, if you look at your fighting game genres, I can understand where they'd be coming from with that. Because I mean, you basically come out with a fighting game. There's only so much you can do. You can possibly release, one other edition of it, to make a few tweaks here and there that you noticed came through after it's been played for so long. Tweak the balances and add a character or two. To really give the titles a little more longevity. So I can see where they'd want to pace out a DLC plan where, okay, every so often we're going to come out with DLC, provide you with new characters just to keep the game going. I mean, you're kind of seeing it right now with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And you know what? I'm okay with that because really you buy a fighting game and then it's pretty much, dust your hands off and it's done. You might have to work a little bit to unlock a few characters and then it's done. But with the DLC, it allows you to get a little more flavor into it after a little while by introducing a few new characters, and then you get your hot patches to do a little
Little balance
balancing
adjust.
tweaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel the same way when it comes to stuff like DLC. I think that there are times where it's appropriate and times, as far as development goes, where it shouldn't even be a consideration, to be honest. Um, I don't necessarily know what constitutes the right and wrong times. Well, the right times, anyways, aside from, like Ender's been saying, with fighting games. Stuff like that seems like it would be a good idea. Games where balance is a major issue. And I'm happy to say that with a lot of PC exclusive developers, MMOs especially, that they've been true to the expansion style of game development, where when you pay another $15 to add on to something that you already paid 30 to 50 to $60, not to mention subscription fees in the case of WoW or Eve, um, it's a completely new side of the game. They're literally changing everything. Like Eve has its new expansion coming out right now, and it adds ground combat. And apparently they're talking about console porting it to where the ground combat is console exclusive, and linked in with it's still linked in with the PC version of it, where it's space and ground combat. That's kind of
That actually
cool.
sounds very interesting. Yeah, that's actually very interesting. Actually, um, kind of merging into a different topic. Pioneering with Eve was their currency system. The way they allowed people to buy like Eve time with real money, and they could sell it to other people for in-game
Yeah,
currency
for
and
ISK.
trading. And this brings up a really good point: is what are your opinions and thoughts on just the marketing systems that you see with a lot of free to play games and their or free to play MMOs, because you're starting to see like almost little experiments and side projects here going off, dealing with, okay, introducing money into it. Okay, instead of charging you a monthly fee, if you're good enough at the game, you can sit here and pay it all off with in-game currency.
Well, in some aspects, I think it's a good idea. In some aspects, I think it's a bad idea. The main thing is when it becomes something like premium content comes at a price, but the rest of the game is free. You run into balance issues. I personally believe, anyways. In the case of like free to play MMOs, you see people running around. If they mix the free players with the paid players, you usually see a lot of imbalance. You usually see a lot of overpowered things. Um, there seems to be limitations on what the free players can do. And while that's a great marketing tool to get people to buy the premium stuff, it shouldn't necessarily be a selling point, in my opinion. It should just be. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. It shouldn't be a make or break thing. If you want to attract people to your game because you claim it's free, that's one thing. But when it comes to uh, premium content coming for a monetary cost, and the premium content is stuff that can dictate how good your experience with the game is, and the people who play for free can't do that. Um, I think it's not that great. I really don't like it. I think one of the only times so far that I've seen free to play be executed properly is with what Valve has done with Team Fortress 2, where now you don't have to buy Team Fortress 2, but if you have, you get premium things. And if you could still find items in game like you know, like you always could. You could still trade and things like that. But there are premium things that come at a price, but it's nothing that makes or breaks the game. It's nothing that's like, wow, that weapon is stupid imbalanced. Where did you get that? Oh, I bought it. It's a premium thing. No, it's wow, that weapon's stupid imbalanced. Oh, well, here's how you craft it, and you just keep finding items until you get the right stuff to craft it. I think that's the right way to do a free to play monetary system. You know, from a business standpoint, I don't like the concept of free to play because then greed comes into effect. Large developers like Blizzard and Square Enix who can get away with doing subscription based games because they know people are going to buy it, or they know their product is good enough to the point where people are going to buy it. That's one thing. I, again, using free to play as a marketing tool goes to the smaller developers. They tend to do that all the time, but it kind of makes. I don't think they realize that it makes people shy away from continuing to play the free to play games when they realize that it's imbalanced unless you pay for it. That's generally my thought process on free to play
Yeah, that's what
versus paid.
exactly what I'm noticing is, but like, and you start looking at the different models. Like one of the new ones is introducing the monetary as being a part of the currency system. So you basically what you're introducing is with like the Diablo gold auction house is now you're putting the money so that it's on the same playing field with uh, with the in-game currency. So it's not that okay, you can spend your money to make things easier on yourself, while as for the other people who are still planning on playing it for free, it's just a little more work for them to get to where the people who are spending money are getting.
Yeah, and honestly, with the whole aspect of things like these free to play games that have a market system, like an auction house and things like that, when they're community driven, things will balance out. You might see something that's not going for as much gold in game as it seems to be offered for cash, but eventually it should balance out. When we talked about Diablo 3 in depth a couple episodes ago, I said the thing that I'm worried about is how is this user based economy going to work when you've got guesstimating 5 million people playing Diablo 3, and 3 of those 5 million are on the US East server for Diablo 3. You've got 3 million people using the same auction house, both for gold and real money. I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm curious. We're going to have to wait, obviously, until the game launches, if not beta, um, to see how this is all going to balance out. But I, I don't know. Things that are community driven that have another good example. Team Fortress 2, the hat community, the hat and item trading community, keys for things that you smelt weapons that you're not going to use into metal. If you get enough of those metals, you go on the forums. Oh, look, someone wants keys. They want 2 refined metals for 1 key. The key you can only buy with money, $2.50. But they're willing to trade for in-game currency, which is the refined metal, even though they spent the $2.50 to buy the key, or they traded for something to get that key or whatever. So, things can balance out eventually. Now, with the community driven stuff, on the other hand, you also have stuff that's there's situations where very rare items are overpriced, and it stays there because everybody knows, well, if it's rare, people want it that bad, they're gonna pay for it. So it's kind of a little bit of a, I don't want to say exploitation. It's price gouging, more or less. We know people want this really, really bad and they want it right now, so I'm going to charge 10. There's only mine is the only one up on the auction house right now, so I'm going to charge 10,000 gold more than usual and see if somebody bites because they just want it that bad.
Monopoly.
Yeah, exactly. And, Not Savard, who I meant to say this earlier, he's not with us again tonight, obviously. He's off at a friend's house. He's getting his last minute summer party stuff out of the way, so he'll be back with us soon enough. We'll probably shoot another episode in the next couple days here and post it, and I'm pretty sure he'll be there with us. But Not Savard is he'd probably be the authority on monopolizing an auction house, because his channel, Derpcake Wow, is it got 500 some subscribers. I don't even know. Let me pull it up here. You've got that many subscribers, and it's all based around how to make gold in Diablo or in World of Warcraft. And if you go on Area 52 Horde side on his server, if you look for some of the most common things sold and some of the higher priced common things that are being sold, he runs that shit. Like, you look at the most recent auctions and it's all him, all his characters. And I think maybe he'll have some interesting feedback on this in the next episode, or if he wants to do a short on his own regarding this issue. But you know, community based is probably the best way to go, as long as you keep things balanced. As long as it's not, you have to, as long as it stays balanced for both parties, the people that are paying and the people that are using it for free, to where it's not, you can get every weapon in Team Fortress 2 by finding it or crafting it. Hats, you can craft them, but if you want a certain hat a certain way, you can buy it. Or if you want a certain item right then and there, you can buy it. But it doesn't make everything overpowered. It doesn't make, the hats don't change anything. They're just a hat. They just make your character look goofy or make people get all jealous and go like, "Yo, I'll give you this, this, and this for your hat," and then you're like, "No," and then they cry to their mom. And I kid you not, I've seen this crap happen. I love Team Fortress 2 to death, but it's just the holy crap. Anyway, let's wrap that up. That's pretty much gonna do it for this episode. I would like to go on one last thing. Today is, in fact, today being Friday. Now that it's Saturday, though, it's almost 1 a.m. This is our 1 week anniversary. Yay!
Oh, how romantic. And I
Yeah.
thought you didn't care.
I really don't. No, I do. This is my baby. This is my project. I actually got into a big argument with Not Savard about this earlier this week. I said, look, you're either in and you stay in, and you work your butt off at it like I am, or you get out, because I'm not going to be doing all the work here. But whatever. Regardless, we worked our differences out. We're cool. There's just a little bit of rough brotherly love going on. Don't you say a word. Don't you say a
Hey, I didn't say
word.
anything.
I don't even
You
have
said
to
it,
see.
not me. You
You're
said it, not me.
25 minutes down the road, and I already know what's going through your head.
Nope. You said
uh,
it, not me. Just for the record.
yeah, but today is our 1 week anniversary for EVADEcast. We have, this will be the 5th video up on the channel, the 3rd episode. We've got one short plus our pilot. As of right now, looking at the channel, we have 484 upload views and 35 subscribers. So from the 3rd to the 13th, we started on the 3rd. I started putting things together on the 3rd. Our first episode was shortly after that. So yeah, it's been about a week. I think we've done fairly well. I mean, I'm proud of what we've done. I'm very happy. I know we've caught the attention. We've caught the attention. We've caught the attention of some pretty big big people. I'm not going to say who. They wish to remain anonymous.
Big people like they weigh a lot or of
You know
importance?
what? Probably both.
Ouch.
Couple different YouTube channels. Not Savard and others' YouTube channels have brought us a pretty decent amount of viewers. The only thing I will say is I'm not really happy with the amount of feedback we're getting. There, I said it. Look, guys.
Talk to us. We're lonely.
Yes, talk to us. We're getting a Facebook and a Twitter set up. I think Utters is in charge of that. We've got an email set up, evadecast1@gmail.com. You can all comment on the videos, shoot us comments, shoot us articles, just send us stuff. If you want to come on the show and you've got something to talk about that's actually a really good topic, we'll work something out to get you on the show. We've got room. We write our own schedule. We talk about what we want to talk about. So, that being said, that's going to wrap it up for episode number 3.
Yay.
Number 3. With our 1-week anniversary. And should have a couple shorts coming up. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. That helps us out the most. Favorite, and most importantly, next to subscribing, repost our videos on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, other YouTube videos. Spread the word around, please. Anybody you
Run
think might
home.
be interested.
Tell your friends.
Yes. Video game podcasting for all the little children. Just give us ideas. Give us your feedback. Talk to us. We're always here. We're always ready to give our opinion on stuff, and we're glad that the people, those of you, the 484 views that we have and the 110 channel views, I'm extremely happy that you guys enjoy what we do. For the most part, we've had some negative feedback, but it's just people being stupid because your episodes are too long. Well, it's a podcast.
Well, no, actually, even you people who do not like us, we still love you for what you do.
Oh yeah,
Because you either help us or you further strengthen our resolve to keep pissing you off.
You hate me enough to let me know that you're actually listening.
Exactly.
And you don't like it. That makes me happy. I really don't care if you don't like it because this is my show, but I don't really think we do anything that anybody could not like, other than to maybe have a difference in opinion. Anyway.
Stop liking what I like, Austin.
Yes. Oh man, that picture. Anyway, video of the moment. I'm gonna put 2 up. A little bit of Baneling love from StarCraft 2, and Ender's been up my butt, so to speak, about putting Gamer Tonight up. If you haven't heard Gamer Tonight, it's what the hell is that guy's name again? Who's the editor?
Ego Raptor. It's not editor. No, he's
whatever. He's done some pretty good stuff for Newgrounds.com the past couple years. Some of these are kind of funny. I don't really personally think they are, but I guess my sense of humor is skewed. But that's not to say that they're I'm pretty boring. That's not to say that they're not good. So yeah, those are going to be the videos of the moment instead of week, since we're going to do more than one a week now. That's pretty much going to do it for us. For Not Savard and Utters, I am Space Chief.
This is Ender.
And that's going to do it for us. We will see you guys, I don't know, when we feel like making a new video. See ya.